Good morning, Vasilis Girasis for Trader24. Well, another dismal performance on the South African market yesterday. We saw our shares close down 0.7% to the downside in what clearly was another volatile session. The mood downbeat across the board. I did mention in our previous webcast that we expected trade to remain volatile going into this week, and this certainly was the case. Trade was thin. We saw about 168 million shares exchange hands yesterday, as opposed to the 220 million in the previous session. Mining index shed 1%. Our gold producers down 1.5% across the board. Being a predominantly resource-based counter, this is not entirely unexpected. It's always our mining shares that will be the first to suffer, and this is on the back of a drop in factory production in industrial nations, which also then has a knock-on effect on our commodity prices. We saw the rand trade at 8.42 to the US dollar, slightly weaker from Wednesday's close of 8.36. Yesterday we also had the Italian bond auction. The premium investors demanded to hold Italian debt also rose sharply. Again, not unexpected, but certainly adding to losses on global equities. A lot of fear and uncertainty still coming out of Spain and Italy. Germany now also becoming a concern. Her bonds, which are normally considered a safe haven, began to rise as well. And this is on the back of fears, will she be able to bail out the other countries? Another interesting point I picked up yesterday that the South African market normally has a very close correlation with the euro-dollar. When the euro-dollar rises, we tend to see our index rise, and when it falls, we tend to see our index follow to the downside as well. Surprisingly enough, yesterday we did see the euro-dollar spike through the 126 level a couple of times, but our futures just not being able to make a rally. Although the euro-dollar was rising, big sell in the market, futures being held down. We do have our futures close out next week, Thursday. We do have Greek elections coming up this Sunday. So I'm thinking, and I'm just wondering, is it not maybe a big seller? Some guy maybe just dropping some of those futures there ahead of the elections, just to, as a hedge against what's going to come out of the elections in Greece on Sunday. Surprisingly enough, though, we do see that the indices, most Asian indices in Australia, up this morning. It will be interesting to see how the markets play on Monday after June 17th Greek elections. But I'm wondering if this is not just a case of buy the rumor and maybe sell the news on Monday. Vasilis Girasis for NakedTrader.com.